All right, what's up, guys? How we doing? Good morning. Let's get to work. We are 15 seconds out here from the close of Big Bar 24. You're looking at a 5-minute NQ chart. And we have had a whole bunch of inside closes all morning. This has been kind of crazy. If you've recognized that, very good. I'm proud of you for recognizing what we've been seeing. Look at this. Shrinking bull body on bar 2, even if you wanted to get long, you wouldn't have gotten a fill. Again, it's a 5-minute NQ chart, right? You come down in 3, you're like, all right, maybe. Inside close, inside. Big wick on 7. Inside, just barely. Sizable wick on 10. Doji, inside. First bear body, inside. Big wick, barely outside, but giant wick on 17. 18, insecure. 19, doji. 20, inside the wick high at 19. Single bar trading range. Let's get this reversal going so we can get some damn setups rocking and rolling. What do you say, man? How we doing? Good morning. All right, we are 355 out here from the close of bar 25. And ATR is 40. Check out a 2-minute chart. It's been the same deal on a 2-minute chart most of the morning here. Now, I think we're probably going to range sideways here for a little while. I'd like this reversal to just crack that 20 EMA, crack the wick low of 17. Let's just head lower. This market needs a kick. Volatility's all right with ATR at 41. I'm cool with that. But I need one side or the other. I do not care which. Be a little bit more secure here with their closes, because we're clearly dealing with some insecurity here, especially out of the bulls. All right, 10 seconds here till 25 closes up. And I think we're probably going to see a big sideways range from bar 19-ish through. So let's crack this thing. Again, I don't care which way we go. Just let's pick a direction and move. Good bulls. Okay, 310 out till bar 26 closes up here. I'm watching this high. Got the wick high of 20, which is really just the high end of this trading range. Gotta be careful betting on that breakout. So I'm gonna look for at least a couple of bars, whether it's the 5-minute or I'd be open to the 2-minute as well. Big Chris, what's up, brother? How we doing? All right, we got about a minute out here. Bulls having a hard time with the high end of that little single bar sideways range. 2 minutes not going to look much different here. All right, Bears. We could fade this thing. That would be tremendous. That'd be a good way to get this price action cleaned up a little. So obviously here, hang on, turning into this, or at least attempting to. Now reversals, by the way, after big pushes. What do we know about reversals after big pushes? It's not a rhetorical question. What tends to happen before the reversal? We know that in A-frame or V-shape, vice versa, reversal is rare. Usually, you get a sideways... No one knows the answer, really? We get a sideways trading range usually before the attempt or the completed, I guess, reversal. Now, when you're in the sideways range after a push, what's the probability of reversing versus going higher? It's close enough to 50-50 to call it straight up 50-50, which is why you got to let the market come to you. Someone's asking about options. Futures are a much better vehicle, instrument for day traders. They're extremely well designed. They're intentional. Options were not designed for active trading. Options were designed for leverage. So with options, I take a much more educated but casual approach, and I overwhelmingly participate in net sell options strategies, which feel complicated at first, but once you understand the Greeks and how they move, and you've been doing it a while, it's relatively hands-off. It takes 5 minutes to 10 minutes a day to manage. That's it. That was the first thing that let me go full time. But for active trading, implementing RAM, etc., if you're looking for, I guess if you're asking between options and futures all day, every day are far more optimized for day traders. Futures were designed for trading and hedging. Options were designed to get lots of leverage in particular scenarios. And how do you offer the buyer of a cheap contract lots and lots of leverage? Well, you have to give the seller the edge built in. Otherwise, no one's going to sell them to you. Now, if you were going to trade intraday options, just buying and selling contracts, would RAM be a good approach? Yeah, sure, of course. It's just price action. But the problem with trading options is that you're dealing with all the Greeks in terms of how your position is priced. And if you're trading short dated because they're cheaper, you have to deal with spreads that are a high percentage of the total value of the contract. They are. And you got theta decay. So you get punished for the trade taking a little bit longer. And then if you have volatility collapse intraday, that's going to heavily affect short-dated options, especially 0 DTE. All right, bar 28. We are less than 2 minutes out here from the close. 27. Story of the day inside the Wikai 26. Nico, the two large candles pre-market, were they news candles? If so, why did they move up and down so quickly? Extremely fast moving in both directions, these. You had Trump talking, making comments. I think he posted something on True Social. Obviously about Iran and the Strait. Don't worry too much about news, worry about price. Okay, 315 out here from the close of 29. Obviously, bulls having a hell of a time here at the high of this trading range. They say, yeah, I thought news usually pushes one direction. No. News is 50-50. And notice, by the way, how that first bar was not a clean close. The bull body closed basically at its midpoint. Want to keep your finger on the pulse as far as news, just from a human level? Sure. Me, I prefer to nearly completely disconnect it from my trading, because if there's something that I need to know, I will hear about it relatively quickly because I'm paying attention. And it won't matter anyway because I'll already see it in price. I don't care what the headline is, I care what the market did. News is obviously, you know, it's important to see if it's justified. If you're trading like a single name small cap stock, obviously. If you're trading commodities, you kind of want to know what's going on. But even with commodities, I mean, those markets are so big that if you're interpreting the news like the average trader in oil, for example, you have to have some kind of an angle that's a little more complex than basic supply and demand that gets priced in really quick. I prefer to go straight to price action. But, you know, I think honestly, guys, traders that they'll be trading ES or NQ and even crude or whatever. If you spend an hour trying to determine what's going to happen with the, oh, I should get long because that was good news that came out 45 minutes ago, I think you're misguided. I think you need to look at price. You're adding a middleman. And at the end of the day, we know that when news hits, especially unexpected news, you could think that it's good news. It depends how the market interprets it. The market might be looking at that as something completely, even though it sounds like it's good news, the market has its reasons. And it depends. Where was it priced when the news hit? Trading is hard enough. Trying to deconstruct news is simple, but it gets really complicated when you have to deconstruct it in comparison to the market's expectations, because the market's expectations are a giant sample size of every participant. That becomes a tough game. And again, I say, just go back to price. Price is truth. Price is reality. There is no middleman to price. All right, beauty. 346 out. All right, we're about 2 minutes out here from the close of bar 30. And although it would be the first bar, 29 was very close to the wick high of 28, pressing outside of that single bar range, and 30 is, as far as it looks currently, clean. I'll need to see a nice clean close out of 30, and then you know I've got a big stop limit buy for the bulls. Range on this bar is reasonable, by the way, compared to the ATR. ATR sitting 35. 60 seconds out. All right, 25 seconds, pop on over here, get the copier engaged. And I will see if these bulls can give me a clean close. Not looking so hot, is it? Pop it, bulls. Come on, 10 seconds. That's going to close beneath. Well, basically at the midpoint, if not a hair beneath. I got to wait on 31. Ugly close out of the bulls. In the meantime, pop over to 2, see what's going on. Yeah. Go back to a 5-minute chart. ATR 33 tanking fast. That ATR is down big. We're up here in, you know, bar 20, ATR was 51. Now here we are, bar 31. We're down to 33. That's falling quickly. We'll see if that ATR dips beneath 30. All right. We got 2 minutes here till bar 31 closes up. You guys know what's up. If I see a nice clean close here out of the bulls on this 5-minute bar, again, this is a 5-minute NQ chart, and it closes clean above, meaning not so much wick, above the wick high of 30, then I'll put out a stop limit buy, 1 tick above the wick high, and see if the bulls want to take it. But all day, we've been seeing a lot of inside closes, a lot of wicks. So I don't want to see too much of that. You pop over to a 2-minute, it's going to look kind of flat here on the last few bars. There you go, single bar sideways range from 74 here to 77. Back to a 5-minute here. Check out the poll here. Damn, we've got a pretty even split. Put in the chat specifically how long you've been at it. Because I know we've got some people in here who it's been a week and a half. And we've got some others where it's been 3.5 decades. Brando, 4 years. Aaron, 6. Cheryl, 6 or 7. Yep, Friday is an off day for us because it's Good Friday. Okay, 31, tiny little bull body, basically a doji. 32, oh man. Come on now, bulls. Rich, been trading 45 years. Carzin, trading 1 week. I told you, we got a whole mix, man. It's even more extreme than I thought. News started in June of 25, with the tomb since December. Big dog. Yeah, I know a lot of people will ask, we've gotten this question a lot, like, how long is it gonna take? Well, it takes as long as you let it take. I know it's a fucking stupid answer, but that's the truth. I've seen it all. I've seen people come in. We had somebody last week who came in, they said they've been trading for 3 months. And the last month, they made over 10,000 in payouts just from trading. I've also seen people who have been trading for 20 plus years who have never had a green year because they never stopped the bad habits. So if you just accept the reality of this business from day one, which is there's no ceiling, you can make way more money than you had ever imagined, but there's more nuance and discipline involved than you ever imagined. And you have to understand that you have to maintain an edge, positive expected value, or you're going to predictably lose money, especially with commissions and fees. If you accept that from day one, you can be like our friend who had a $10,000 month fucking 2 months in. 3 months in. Or you can stay stubborn, like many of us try to, or like to. If you're in this game, we're probably wired relatively similarly, or you can stay stubborn and end up like, unfortunately, some guys who have been at it for 25 years. Because they can't stop. They can't stop averaging down on bad trades. They can't stop moving stop losses. They can't stop taking profits before they should be. All right, 30 seconds out here from the close of 32. See that? You see that? 32 closing inside the wick high of 30. All right, I wait on 33. Chris says a friend of mine made $900,000 in their first year in 2020, then lost $750 the next year. 2020 masked bad habits. Straight up. Everybody made money in the market in 2020. It didn't matter who you were. And it kind of, I mean, it was cool to see, but it also, I don't know. I mean, what other people do, I've always seen as, you know, it's none of my business, but it also kind of, it was frustrating to me because I'm like, I want to see you guys keep killing it. And I know you have bad habits that are being masked by the year 2020, 2021. And it kind of sucked to see the train coming and watch everyone get hit because they didn't listen. You know, it's tough. But it's also a good thing because they're forced to say, oh shit, okay, I do have a lot of bad habits. They were just masked. If they're able to get through that pain, which I hope everyone does, meaning they don't quit trading, right? And they come back and actually give it an honest to God shot. You know, those of you guys in, let's say, like the UK, we'll say Europe in general. I know we have a lot of international people here, which is, by the way, one thing I love about the futures market is the international base is much stronger than even just the stock market, it seems. My question for you international folks is this. For your career as a trader, do you like the hours, or are you like, I just need to make enough money to move to the US so I can have regular trading hours? Like, I want to know what your guys' thoughts on that are. All right, bar 33. Poker says, I love it, 3:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. I mean, man, if you're a night owl, that's kind of a dream. Okay, so the situation we're currently dealing with, and this is a 5-minute NQ chart. We have a big softball channel. The trouble here is that to the upside, you have lots of inside closes, insecure closes like 30. And then when you pull back, for a limit order reversion scalp, you kind of have to turn it into a limit order reversion swing, because this is, it's extreme enough to the upside where the most obvious risk is what? The wick low at 25. Well, that's 75 points away. Okay, so I'd have to size down. That trade would likely take a while. I'm open to that idea. But I gotta tell you, the trade I'm more excited about is just a regular old continuation, 2, maybe 3 consecutive bull bodies. But we're seeing a lot of insecurity out of the bulls. Not in general, but as far as the closes on the 5-minute. Obviously, the bulls are winning the day thus far. But you look at each individual close, you get more of the story here. All right, now watch out here. Sideways trading range is definitely a possibility here. We've been seeing that throughout the day for at least a few bars. Most notably 19 to 24-ish. And again, the numbers beneath the bars, if you're confused, all this is we're counting the bars, every other one, from the New York session open. Because we have lots of time zones here, and it's a nightmare to use actual time, so we use bar count. Alright, I'm gonna be back in 2 minutes. I'm just gonna grab some coffee. Be right back. Don't you go anywhere, big dog. What's up? Welcome back. All right. We've got bar 36. Closing up here in 2 minutes, 40 seconds. Someone says today's big lesson was never move the stop loss. Well, look. Don't paint with that broad of a brush. Think about this. Every trade you take is a simple math equation that you're doing your best to estimate. There is no way to know exactly what's the probability with this reward to risk at this exact moment. The best we do is make an educated estimate, right? In your head. So, if you move your stop loss, what are you doing to that probability of the trade working? What are you doing? During the trade, you're making the reward to risk much better while you're in it. So the risk was on initially, but now you're tightening that up. Reward to risk improves. What happens to probability? Can anyone tell me? Let's say you're 10 points in the money and you move the stop from being, 25 points to break even. Can't answer this question, man. Good luck. It's okay if you don't know the answer, but come on, let's get some attempts. The probability tanks. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, boring trader. It goes way down because you're tightening it up. You're making it so you have to be right with much less wiggle room and much faster. So if you're moving stop to break even a lot and you're saying, fuck, all I do is get stopped out, there's a reason for that. You're tanking your probability because you're scared. You're scared of losing. So how do you actually fix that issue? Do you keep moving your stop to break even when you're barely in the money and you don't have a bar-by-bar management reason to do so? No. You trade smaller. Trade so small in the early days that you don't really give a shit what happens. You're like, I need dopamine from somewhere. I'm not getting it from the size I'm trading, so I'm just gonna do the right thing, and that'll make me feel good because I'm more disciplined than everybody else. That's the secret, I'm telling you guys. I don't know how much louder I can say it. Do that. You're like, well, Nico, how am I supposed to get rich trading small size? How are you supposed to get rich with no edge? Big dog. You won't. You get the edge, then you size up. All right. Well, we got a single, single bar, tight, sideways range. Didn't we talk about this 20 minutes ago? And here we are, sideways trading range. So be careful. Be careful in here. Now, as the market pulls on back, if I can get deep enough, I could size down. Volatility is really low. It's 28, 29 on the ATR. Actually, I wouldn't even necessarily need to size down. It's not as far away as it looks. If you can get a deeper pull in 50 points. Question, why are you waiting on the extra 15 points? You mean pull in? Not particularly an extra 15, maybe 10, 15, 20, 25. To increase the reward to risk enough where I can make the math make sense. Because I've already selected my risk management. I'd like to use the wick low at 25 if I can. Yeah, my ATR here, this number bottom right of your screen that says 28.99 in red, well in white with a red flag, that is set to 10. So whatever chart I'm on, this is a 5-minute chart, it looks back 10 bars. So it looks back 10 5-minute bars and averages them together to get the average range of each bar in points. I get asked all the time, what's the thing at the bottom? Is that a special indicator? Nope. No, it's literally just the red is the ATR, and the orangish yellow vertical bars, that's just the range indicator in NinjaTrader, and I just lay them on top of each other. That's it. Oh, you see 38 pulling right back into, well, 37, now 38, sitting right back into the sideways trading range here. It started on bar 31. Question, so bar 37 touching the 20 EMA is never a trade. Well, first of all, it didn't touch. Second of all, no, I would never trade just based off an EMA touch. And third, I didn't get long on that. I wanted it a little bit deeper so I could use the wick low at 25 and be comfy with that. Just didn't get quite deep enough for me. which is fine. ATR, man, we're down to 27 and a half. It's low, man. Volatility's tight. It's tight. Just stay patient. Big deal. You gotta sit in front of your computer. What a tough life. But I would tell you, I'd love if that ATR said 77. Where would you like to see ATR? I like ATR. Anything above 30 is cool. Above 20 is fine. Below 20, our job gets a little tougher for sure. And below 10 on a 5-minute chart, it's time to walk away. Above 30, I'm totally happy with. Above 40, great. Very happy with it. Above 50, tremendous. But things I think get a little more, I'll say noticeably, I don't know if tougher is the right word. You know what I mean? Below 30. Below 20, definitely noticeable. Below 10, time to leave. Unless it's 4th of July and we're partying. Oh, you sideways range. Goodness. Bar 31 through. You know what would be best case scenario right now? If the bears could step in and just start curling this thing and tanking us off a cliff. Oh, man. That would increase the volatility. Beauty. And we'd probably get some beautiful setups along the way. That's what I would love to see right now, is a big old drop. Controlled, but volatile. No, I have my ATR set to 10. You can run 14, man. It doesn't really matter. I just picked 10. I don't know. Made sense to me. I want to look back. Yeah, 10 bars makes sense. 20 minutes on a 2-minute chart, 50 minutes on a 5-minute chart. Whatever. Doesn't really matter that much. You want to pick 4, just make it consistent. Just pick a number and roll with it. I chose 10. You're just looking for a consistent read throughout the day. It doesn't have to be, one number is not going to make you lose while another makes you profitable. Just keep it consistent. Question, what's your advice for new traders? Number 1, understand the business. Understand what business you're in. How do you make money as a day trader? You buy and you make money. You sell, you make money. No, wrong. Technically, sure. How do you make money reasonably consistently as a day trader? You have to have a repeatable methodology that provides you with edge on most of the trades that you take, and then you have to have the discipline and emotional control to get the sample size of trades up to let the numbers play out. Whereas what most people do, even if they find a little bit of edge, by trade number 27, they're moving stop losses, they're averaging in, they're sizing up to get back a loss, they're taking trades that aren't there, and now the edge is gone before they even knew they had it. This business is the same business. I don't think people understand it, at least some people, when I say this. This is the same business model as running a casino. The difference is, and when I say that, I think it triggers people because they think, oh, gambling, day trader. Calm down. Listen to what I said. This is the same business model as operating a casino. Think about what I just said. The only difference is we have to maintain the edge through repeatable methodology and making reasonable assessments of probabilities. The casino has the edge built right in. So the casino's number 1 concern is how do we market this place to get as many people in the door betting as many hands per minute as possible? Because their only concern is sample size. They know they're going to win. Just get the sample size up. With traders, our concern is sample size, but our number 1 concern is maintaining edge on most of the trades you take. Some trades you're going to look back on and be like, I don't know if that was such a great trade. Okay, just keep those to a minimum. Do the best you can on each individual trade. That's my advice to beginners. If you actually internalize that and go fucking full bore at that as the business model, I think you're going to win. It's just that most people don't even think about this, which is bizarre to me. All right, bar 40, what you got? Good question. Why was bar 39 not a stop limit buy for me? Can any of you Tomb guys pop in and answer that question off the cuff? I know you can. Why was 39 not a buy for me? Range. It's inside the range. Context is number 1. Before setup. 39's inside the sideways trading range. See this? Good work, guys. Good job. All right, halfway through bar 40 here. Oh, we love it. Even when it's a sideways range, man. I'll take it. What do they say? The worst day as a trader beats the best day at a job you hate? Yeah, that's true. Big E, what's up, brother? How we doing? What do I gain by counting bars? We gain a collective understanding of what in the hell I'm talking about when I say, you know, the 1035 bar. You're like, dude, I live in Dubai. What the fuck is that? Instead, you say, oh, bar, 25, bar 26. And then everyone knows what we're talking about. They count from the start of the New York session. All right, bar 41. We're 3 minutes and 56 seconds out here from the close. ATR, oh my God. That hurts. ATR is 23. Oh man, that's ugly. Volatility is way, way down. We're in a can't even say big. We're in a sideways trading range, maybe 25 points wide. And you know how when people say, yeah, market sucked today, man. I got chopped up today. Well, it wasn't the market. It was you, big dog. You bet on breakouts all day in a single bar sideways range. 80% probability plus of each breakout attempt eventually failing. Well, look at our poll here. We have over 300 votes, so a reasonable sample size. And we are literally at 25% across the board. Which is kind of crazy. Goodness gracious. And I'll tell you what, should we even look? It's gonna be ugly. Oh god. That's a 2-minute chart. Back to a 5. Those of you scalpers out there, or those of you guys who are at least primarily scalping here today, drop your trade count in the chat. You guys know, to me, a lot of people will judge you for taking a lot of trades. Total fucking bullshit. Over trading is only a thing if you step outside of your expected value, or I should say your edge, to take more trades. If you took 100 trades today, and you can look back and assess each individual trade and say, I had a reasonable edge, I know I did, on 90 to 95% of them, in hindsight. That's not over trading. It's not. So let's see who took the most here so far today. I know we've got some micro scalpers in the mix. 23, 42, 22, 24, 12. Some nice trade counts, man. Oh, ATR down to 22. Oh my God, look at 40, 41, 42. What an ugly sequence of bars. Market cannot decide what to do here. Range on these bars tanking, by the way. Anthony, what's up, brother? Good to have you. Hope you become a regular, my man. got a whole bunch of regulars. And we love it. Now, what I would love even more is if these bears could step in and tank us 400 points with 15 clean ram setups along the way. What do you guys think? That ATR number, bottom right of your screen, currently says 23. If we go below 20... let's just hope we don't go below 20. This is brutal. This is brutal right here. 40, 41, 42, 43. Man, I think I said it on bar 33. 45 minutes ago. You know, it's like how many accounts just got blown betting on breakouts, betting on 39 breaking out. Of course, most of the time it's not going to. We have a developed range like we already had on bar 39. Up 37 is going to be the breakdown side, right? You got a trading range and a big softball channel. Most of the time it's not going to be. Market's always trying to get you to believe that the breakout's here. Let it actually be here and then take the continuation trade. And if you're taking trades in the trading range, I'm not saying you can't. Just make sure you can make sense of the math behind each trade and make sure you're betting on the range, not the breakout until the breakout's here. That's typically what people mean when they say, I got chopped up. No, I think you took 15 bets on breakouts in a sideways trading range. You know. Which, by the way, like, you say, I never do that. I don't know, man. I mean, it's kind of easy to get in the groove of missing things because you know, you've lost 3 trades in a row, so now I need to bet on the breakout because I need the breakout to get those losses back kind of thing. It's easy to go down that path. Just treat each trade like an individual assessment. I cannot stress that enough. Reggie Big Dog, what's up? Are you waiting for the short? I'm waiting for whatever RAM setup comes next. I don't care which direction. All right, there's the attempt. Let's see how this plays out here. Bar 43, minute 23 out. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to get a refill here. Don't you go anywhere, man. Right back. All right. Come on, 44. You had so much potential. Let's see if the Bulls can fix this guy up, bar 44. Ooh, I'd have to see this thing grow. They've only got 35 seconds to get it done. By the way, 43, first bar closing outside the range. I gotta wait on 44. 43 is the very early trade, but this market is even more prone to ranges than a typical market, so I'm even less likely to take the early trade than I would be in a more traditional market. Nothing on 44. Let's watch 45. Man, if you haven't yet, hey, I appreciate you hitting the like button on the live stream. Or the dislike button, big dog, whatever makes you happy. Same thing, man. Hit a button. I appreciate it. Bill, what's up, brother? How we doing? Yep, the bar counter, we're just counting bars from the New York Open. That's all. So we're all on the same page. We've got different time zones in here, of course. Now, you gotta understand, the higher probability event here is that the bears fade this right back into the range. But of course, that's short. You'd say, well, then the logical thing to do is short it, right? Well, you've got a giant soft bull channel, and you basically have to use the wick high of 44 to manage risk, which is 12 points away. So that trade isn't that high probability either. ATR is at 21. We are tempting fate with that ATR with the volatility, right? Dipping below 20 here. I don't want to see 19 on that ATR, man. That makes our job quite a bit tougher. By the way, if you're like, well, what the hell is ATR? Average true range? Takes the average range in points of a, in this case, 5-minute bar here on NQ. And when the average bar is less than 20 points in size, things get tough. When you dip below 10, it's time to walk away, typically. For me, at least. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. It looks like ATR is dipping below 20, so I'll tell you what. Hopefully this afternoon, we see that pick up. But right now, for me, my highest ROI activity right now is going to hit lunch, so I'm ready for the afternoon. So I'm going to go do that. Be patient, dude, on a day like today. You got to let it come to you. And when it comes to you, if you get 4 trades in 40 minutes, hit it. Hit it, hit it. If you get 7 trades in an hour, hit it. But if you get no trades in 3 hours, it's okay. You're doing your job. When there's no positive expected value, when there's no edge for you being presented in the market because you're dealing with this, what's the highest ROI activity? Doing this, right? In that same boat of discipline, you might get 9 trades in 1 hour or scalps in an hour. And if they all set up in your wheelhouse, even if you're a little bit nervous, you got to put them on. And if you're scared, just size down and put it on. All right, that's part of discipline. These come in waves. It's not, you're going to take a trade every 30 minutes. You might take nothing for 3 hours and then take 5 trades in, 35 minutes or whatever. All right, guys. All right, I will see you to finish out the week tomorrow. Big dogs. Until then, see you soon. Stay patient, man. Let it come to you.